latest from the wide world of tropics. Tropical Weather Bulletin for May 24th. Well, at the moment we've got a significantly intensifying tropical storm in the Bay of Bengal, which promises to be a pretty big cyclone for the coast of India, and Tropical Depression Anna, which is pretty much a non-entity at this point after its surprise formation in the Western Atlantic this week. 8 days until hurricane season, and the streak of pre-season storms has continued, with Anna there now a depression and on its way out. Thankfully, we didn't get any other funny business that might have happened in the Gulf of Mexico recently. We were watching that area closely. Eastern Pacific on day 10 of hurricane season here. We've now marked two areas of interest, one that will come right after the other. The initial one, 20% generation of formation, probably around day 3 to 5. The 10% behind it, we're really looking at day 5 for that. And looking at the Western Pacific, quite a bit of uncertainty regarding 97W, which is the one on the left hand side, 10% off the coast of Vietnam that we've marked. Could end up going up the Gulf of Tonkin, and a 40% chance now over Micronesia for a storm that could develop quite quickly as it enters the Philippine Sea. And this so far unnamed tropical storm in the Bay of Bengal, unnamed as of the time of recording, likely to become a named storm very soon indeed, and likely to be designated by the JTWC extremely quickly after this update. Here's the latest satellite imagery of the Atlantic right now. You can see that atmospheric river, you could say it is there, extending from the eastern Caribbean, bypassing that dry air up towards the northeast. Anna's on the northern side of that, but it's barely visible at all now. I don't think on the infrared it is visible anymore because all of the middle and high level cloud is gone. In the Eastern Pacific, you can see those little areas there as well, the tropical zones, the ITCZ, which could, one or two little pockets there, as is normal at the time of year, could come out and become significant tropical cyclones. Western Pacific, you can see that big mess on the right hand side, that something out of that might come. And on the left hand side, right near the edge of the image, you see the coast of Vietnam, you just saw briefly there, an area trying to spin up. And in the southern hemisphere, a significant extratropical cyclone off the coast of New Zealand, which some people have been looking out for signs of subtropical development. We'll stay tuned on that. Indian Ocean, you can quite clearly see the rotation of what is a really big area, this tropical storm, which is still Invest 93B as of the time of broadcast, but things are expected to change very quickly. This is the latest Himawari 8. You get a little bit of a better idea of its rotation on that imagery, and the cloud tops blowing up. This storm is intensifying, and current models are suggesting that it could be a Category 3 by the time it makes landfall in West Bengal, and that would be on Wednesday morning. Very close indeed. Not much early warning on that. Sea surface temperatures, Eastern Pacific fairly warm, 30 degrees plus, especially further east where those invests might track over. The Gulf of Mexico, rather warm, a good loop current there by the looks of things. Western Caribbean also 26 plus 28 degrees there. And out over the Atlantic, temperatures starting to increase as well. Where Anna was, it was barely 22 degrees, and that's why it struggled. In fact, it defied some people in that it became tropical in the first place, but there you have it. And this is the Indian Ocean, piping hot there in the Bay of Bengal, pushing 32 degrees Celsius all the way up to the coast. In the South China Sea, also very warm, 30 to 31 degrees, and the Philippine Sea, a little bit less hot, but still quite easily getting towards 30 degrees all the way out beyond the Mariana Islands. So very warm conditions, prime for potential tropical cyclones. Here it is compared to average. Indian Ocean much above, Western Pacific above generally, but particularly in the South China Sea. The Eastern Pacific generally below average, and in the Atlantic, the tropical zone is above average, but the subtropical zone is actually a little bit below for this time of year. Well, on this day, we've grabbed this image from May 24th, 2001, when a Category 4 was also prowling the Arabian Sea coasts. This storm would eventually move over the coast of India. I think Gujarat got the landfall in a few days' time, and this was quite a significant storm, obviously not too long after the Gujarat cyclones and the Pakistan cyclones of 1998 and 99, which we dusted off the history books and got familiar with after the recent passage of Taute. But you can see quite clearly there, probably a category 4 at peak. So looking elsewhere, where we are right now, the next name on the Atlantic hurricane season naming list is Bill. Be thankful we haven't already gone through it, because we could have done. Claudette would be after that. In the Eastern Pacific, the next name is Blanca, followed by Carlos. And in the Central Pacific, we're still waiting for Hone. In the Western Pacific, on list 4, the next name is Choi Wan, followed by Koguma. We could get both of them in the next week. In the North Indian Ocean, the next name, which is imminent, should be Yas, followed by Gulab. In the Southern Hemisphere, the Australian region's next name is Paddy. In the Southwest Indian Ocean, Kanga. And in the South Pacific, it's Cody. That's all for tonight. We'll have another tropical weather bulletin at the same time tomorrow night. It might be live, actually. We'll see you then.